second speaker is Diane Davies. So many of you will know Diane in her role as support coordinator at Jigsaw, but she's here to talk about her own experiences as a carer.
Thank you. Oh gosh, that's scary. So, hello everybody, my name's Diane Davies and I'm a carer. That always feels a bit like a confession, really. It's not a label that I was ever comfortable with, it's not a label I would ever accepted. If anybody asked me, I would have said no, I'm a mum, because that's who I am. And I think that's how many of us feel. We're a mum, a brother, a sister, a husband, a wife, but the role of carer is something that's really difficult to accept, I think, and a lot of people don't accept that role, and it takes a long time. And it wasn't until we got into a kind of real crisis and we had to have services step in that we were labelled, me and my husband, as carers. We have 3 children, all with additional needs. Don't ask me how that happened, they're all different, so just kind of pick them out of a hat, I think. So we care for all 3 children, who I'm thankful to say are 2 boys now grown up and live independently with very little support. But we have a daughter with very complex needs who needs 24/7 care. And thanks to personal budgets, which I think do work if you know how to use them and you're able to get one, they're brilliant. So we have a personal budget which allows me to work full time. I'd like to not work full time, but financially I have to, which a lot of people do. But the personal budget allows me to do that so that my daughter is looked after whilst I'm at work. It does mean that there's not a lot of time after work, so you don't do socialising and you don't have friends and that kind of thing, but she is cared for. And I think as a carer, it was very difficult to let that go, to allow somebody else to do that. And I think we find that very difficult. We know what's best for the person that we're looking after. We've known them all our lives, and it's really difficult to let that go and let somebody else step in. So I found that very hard. And I think it's about being engaged with the people who are taking over that role, to let them know what it is that you normally do, and hopefully they can kind of replicate that. And it's having that communication open amongst you and the people that are taking over from your caring role. So I would say to anybody, you know, don't wait till you get into crisis, seek the help if you can early on. And accept that you have now got a different label. You've still got the other label, I'm still her mum, but I'm also her carer, and will always be, I think, until, you know, I crawl off this mortal coil, and then who knows, but we will always be, me and her husband will always be her carer. So I think accepting that label has been the hardest thing to do, but has brought on many good things in the respect of getting the extra help in place so that we can have some semblance of a normal life, if you like. I don't know what normal is really, but you're kind of trying to have that. So we did get into crisis, we still do get into crisis, and I don't think services will ever prevent carers getting into crisis at some point, because things happen throughout your life. We've had the worst 2 months we've had in about 6 years with our daughter, and I often say my husband's very supportive because he changed the oven from a gas one to an electric one, so when I stick my head in it now, my hair just frizzes. So he's really supportive, he's my rock. So, but it is important to have that support and to get that support, and you know, we've got a really good team of social workers and professionals who do kind of talk me off the cliff edge when I'm ringing and saying, you know, I really am going to jump off a cliff. She's very skilled, so I think that's one of the skills they get, I think, isn't it? You do teach them how to talk people down, so that's really good. So it is about having the support, get the support. It might come from professionals, it might come from friends, it might come from voluntary sector organisations, but I think it's about getting that support in place so that you don't get into that crisis. But initially, I think the most difficult thing is accepting that you are a carer and accepting the help. Because I don't think we're very good at that. I know I'm not. I'm a nightmare. I'm sure I am. I'm sure when the social worker heard my name, she wanted to run 1,000,000 miles away. But once you accept that, then it does make life much easier. So I hope you all enjoyed today. I know everybody's desperate for coffee, so I'm going to shut up because she's not waved at me yet, though. She did say she would stand up and wave. Are you waving? I told you you'd have to go like this. Anybody that knows me knows I can talk for England. So I'm going to shut up and let you all go for coffee, and I hope you all have a really good day. Thank you.